made it out to my trail cam. I'm going to swap out SD cards and rebait it and just keep going. I have this big bag of birch bark I'm going to take out to my winter camp finally. Pretty tired. Some of this snow I'm going through is over my knees. So for my bait I have some bacon fat and some nuts. And I'm not even sure if my camera's working right now. It's pretty cold. You know it's cold when the fireball looks like maple syrup and this 40% whiskey is almost frozen. Surprised the glass didn't break. I see some of my wood pile came crashing down. Well, my deer hide is still here. Nothing touched it as I figured. You can see how I have it propped up with the stick, nice and high off the ground. Probably finished smoking this today. So in case anyone's wondering about the smoker, it's my old stove I had out here a couple years ago. And I just built a regular fire, let it die down to a bed of coals, and I start adding this punky spruce. Very spongy, makes really good smoke for smoking a hide. Not so much for cooking. You know, if you wanted to turn this into something that you could smoke food on, you want to use green willow, something like that. And you want to make sure that you're not getting any heat out of the top. Just want smoke. And if this fire does flare up, I just throw a little bit of snow in there to cool it off. Got to keep an eye on it. You can see my kindling pile is next to nothing, so I got to restock that today. So I got to look through my wood pile, try to find stuff that's nice and straight, the grain. Splits so much easier that way. brought out a couple of knives to stay with me at camp. This one's going to be for skinning. This one's going to be for cutting up vegetables. Some of you know that a while back I made my own skinning knife, but during the heat treatment process I accidentally melted off the tip of the knife, and that's the most important part, is the long pointy tip for skinning. So I was never quite happy with it, so I'm going to try these out. Kind of made a little mistake here. I was cooking up my bacon and I was trying to save the lard into a container, but I didn't realize the container had a crack in it from the cold. So I got bacon grease all over this table that I made a while back, and I'm kind of worried about, attracting animals and them maybe chewing on it. I might even start chewing on it if it's got bacon grease. So I had an idea. I looked through my pantry and I found some seasonings. I got some Thai red curry seasoning, hot sauce, vinegar. So I'm going to rub that all over the table, and maybe it'll keep the animals away. Basically just came out to camp to check on it. We had, since my last visit, we had 3 storms, and this past week we had quite the cold snap. When I got up this morning it was minus 30 Celsius with a minus 38 degree wind chill. When I got up to camp, my thermometer said minus 31.7 Celsius. And during the week, our coldest temperature that I happened to see on my phone was minus 41. The coldest wind chill we had was minus 47. I know that sounds pretty cold, but we do get a lot colder than that. If you look it up on Google, just type in the coldest temperature ever recorded in Alberta, and you'll see it's minus 61 Celsius. That's minus 78 Fahrenheit. A lot of the people that watch my channel are from the States. And some people think that when it gets this cold that everything shuts down, we just get to stay home. Unfortunately, I still have to work. We still need services, hospitals, stuff like that. Just wanted to share a couple stories about frostbite. On my last video, when I filmed in minus 47 wind chill, I got a touch of it on all my fingertips. My fingers ached for about 3 days after that video. I've had frostbite before, it's not the first time. A few years ago, it was actually about 4 years ago, my dad was in the hospital, and we used to go down to the parkade so he could have a smoke. And it was still exposed to the cold, and there was a couple other guys down there, and one guy was lighting the other guy's cigarette. His hands were all bandaged up and all his fingers were gone except for he had a couple little nubs, just enough to hold the cigarette. So his friend had to light his smoke for him, and I asked what happened, and I guess he's new to the country, didn't realize the symptoms of frostbite, was working outside, and ended up losing all of his fingers. Growing up, I knew this guy. He was out drinking one time, fell asleep outside during the winter, and lost all of his toes on both feet. So frostbite's pretty serious. Well guys, I'm just smoking one more pipe, sipping on a little warm whiskey. I just checked on my smoker, it kind of flared up a bit, so I'm going to open up the hide right away. I got a few more things to do outside, move a load of wood into my shelter, move some wood around outside, and that's it. Not the most productive day, but it wasn't supposed to be. Just came out to check on camp. This is the hide that I smoked. This is the color it's supposed to be, light brown, kind of yellow. And when I was in my shelter, my smoker flared up and started making flames. So this part's a little overdone, but it's still soft. And this bottom part right here, I kind of cooked it. But I'll just trim that off. My last job for the day is to load up my sled and just leave it there for next time, just like I did on my last visit. This way I'm always staying ahead of the firewood. There's my wood pile. There's some more over here. And this is what I split today. Got one more load to go to my shelter, but I'll do that on my next visit. I gotta start cleaning up my shelter and probably head home.
Hey, thanks for watching.
If you like our content,
feel free to subscribe here.
Don't forget to hit that bell.
So you'll get a notification
As soon as a new video is uploaded.
And we hope to
Catch you guys on another video.